we are seeing the crypto market dump again. Now, is now the time to panic? Is there something potentially wrong? Could there be something about to break in the crypto market? I personally think no, but the next 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 days are going to be very, very illuminating in terms of figuring out what the next direction could be within the crypto market. So I want to go over a couple of the things that we are seeing within the charts right now and discuss some of the things that, we're getting a lot of conflicting information, to be completely honest. Some of it's looking okay, and some of it is looking not really great at all. So I want to go over all of the different things and show you kind of exactly what I am looking at. So first off, let's go ahead, we'll dive right on in talking about the crypto bubbles. We can see here, again, another mixed day in the market. It is technically a green day, but it's a bit of a strange green day. You'll see here we have a couple that are actually quite green, and you'll see we have another handful that are actually quite red. You'll actually see one that is actually behind my picture right now is Pump.Fun, down 8.2% on the day. We are also seeing here Bitcoin down 1% on the day, 1.5% on the week, and then almost 10% on the month, which is pretty interesting. Now, you will see here just on the day, we've seen kind of a lot of whiplash. Even if we go back to the week, you'll see dropping below 100, back up to 106, down to 102, 103, back up to 105, back down to 101. I mean, it's been really all over the place. I think there's a lot of indecision going on here in the market right now. Now, of course, we will have this resolve itself at some point. You can see we are currently at 102,000. We'll have to see if we go up further, if we go down further. There's a lot of things kind of indicating potentially either or potentially even both happening, right? Because keep in mind, we can see both happen, obviously not at the same time, but within a very, very short period of time. So first off, let's take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, and we will actually see that we are in extreme fear. This is the first time we've been in extreme fear, basically since we saw the absolute bottom of the market when all the tariff nonsense, craziness, whatever was going on. This was the last time we were in extreme fear. You'll see on April 8th, we were at 18. We are currently more afraid and more fearful as a whole market right now than where we were at the peak of the tariff craziness, which I find kind of shocking and to be honest, a little bit ridiculous. I don't really think that the market is that insane. I do think that there is a little bit of fear and uncertainty going on with the government shutdown happening in the US. That has currently been resolved. We'll get to that here in just one second. So I do think that that is another one of those bullish factors that could see price move up here kind of shortly. But again, we'll have to see. Right now, we are currently seeing extreme fear at 14. The only time we've actually been lower is on the 26th of February 2025. This is where we were seeing kind of that first major crash of Bitcoin, going kind of from when we'd first seen above 100K, and then we'd gotten down here to about 84, 85K. We did get all the way down into the mid 70s, which again is where we saw kind of at the peak of the tariff insanity. Now this part where we did recently see, or I guess the last time we were in extreme greed, this did actually mark like the pico bottom of the market, where we did hit those mid 70s and then continue to run up all the way and hit new all-time highs at the mid 120,000 range. So keep in mind that this has generally been kind of like the bottom indicator, or a very, very close sign. You can also see here when we hit the bottom in extreme fear back in August of 2024, this was like not quite the extreme bottom where we hit 55,000. I think we got a little bit lower here back in early September, but again, this was near the bottom that we were really ever going to see for price in this range. So if that is the case here and this does continue to hold, this does mean probably the $100,000 range in crypto is going, or for Bitcoin, is going to be probably near the bottom of what we see. Now, again, anything can happen. Things can change. This time can be different, of course, but that is what we are seeing going on right now. Now, of course, you also can see on the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map some interesting things. Now, in my opinion, this fear and greed index would indicate that we are probably near a bottom and we should see a move to the upside coming here soon. However, the liquidation map, at least in terms of what we should say kind of like immediate movement, not actually looking so great. We can see here a lot of liquidity down to the downside here, over $1 billion. Even if we were to just crack like just barely below 100K, over $1 billion of longs getting liquidated. Now again, it is still a more of a move back to the upside here. There is definitely that skew liquidating shorts and moving up. But you will see on the 7-day, there is not actually quite that skew. It is actually more towards liquidating shorts moving to the downside. Again, you'll see a massive amount of long liquidity, over $3 billion, getting down to that $99,000 range. Now, this is, again, I would say cracking slightly below 100K, but again, kind of within striking distance of that 100K psychological level. I think it is entirely possible that we see kind of a rogue wick come down and liquidate all this. I think it is definitely very doable. Now, of course, on the 30-day, you will see that we're still massively skewed towards the upside. A lot of shorts piling in here. But that being said, you can still see $1 billion down at like the $100,500 range. And even just below $100,000, we could see, $1.7 billion almost to be liquidated. So be very, very careful. I do think there is kind of a very high risk that we see, again, kind of maybe a rogue wick come down, liquidate some of these longs, and then we push back to the upside. I do think, given the level of fear we are seeing in the market, we are probably near a bottom, but that does not mean you can't get wicked out off of some sort of rogue movement. So again, if you are looking to trade, I do have links in the description below. BTCC and Weex are the ones that I use the most. Weex is the one that I use primarily. I do have that link, but BTCC definitely does have the best sign up bonus. It is 10%, a 10% bonus on first time deposits. So if you were looking to just get 10% more of whatever you're looking to get into, that is definitely a really, really strong offer. So again, I do have those links in the description below. They are affiliate links. You can go on ahead and sign up using those. You will capture that bonus, and it does, of course, help support the channel, which is super helpful. So if you're interested, of course, they are there. But like I said, if you are going in and you're going to be taking trades, again, none of this is financial advice. These are just purely my opinions and what I am doing personally. But I have been going in and placing trades that are low leverage longs. Again, if we do continue to move down, there is always that risk that we do hit that stop loss and we do kind of lose on those trades. But just given what I am seeing on a macro level, from liquidations looking like we could see a move back to the upside, from the fear and greed looking very, very, very fearful right now, you'll see that we're rarely hit into extreme fear, and we have officially. So I am kind of just looking towards history and looking towards kind of what we have seen in the past and just using that as my guide. So that is what I personally am doing. Again, low leverage longs, making sure that I don't get caught on any sort of like rogue wick that we could potentially see happening as indicated by the liquidation map. So that is why I'm trying to use these two pieces of information to kind of create something that is kind of a good hybrid of the two strategies. Now, the other thing that I find very, very important going on here is you will see that the US government is officially not shut down anymore. So the money tap will start flowing again. Again, whether you like it or not, it does seem to be that the government spending is a very, very large part of kind of the overall economic liquidity engine that we do have currently. So when the government is shut down, liquidity does kind of dry up out of the market, and people get a little bit skittish and scared. And so what we can see now with the US government coming back in, money will start flowing again. We should start to see a lot of this come back. Now, we do have a lot of different updates going on as well, with potential, tariff check payments and, all this different type of stuff, the Clarity Act, a lot of this type of stuff coming through, which I do think could have a major impact on where we go over the next couple or maybe even several months down the road. So I do think that this could be getting very, very close to a macro bottom. I think we're probably very, very close to where that could be. Now, again, we'll never know exactly where the Pico bottom is. I do think, though, just from a very large and overall perspective, we are seeing a lot of that kind of all start to kind of align and correlate right now. So again, this is just my opinion. I am making my own decisions based off of this information. You may be finding some conflicting information out there somewhere. You may subscribe to the 4-year cycle, think that the 4-year cycle is over and it's time to sell. If that's the case, of course, that would be the correct thing to do. I personally don't really subscribe to that, so I have a different viewpoint. But again, that's what makes markets. Someone will be right and someone will be wrong. Just make sure that you are doing your own diligence and doing your own research to make sure that you can live with the decisions that you make. So overall, hopefully you found the information in the video useful. If you did, of course, you know what to do. I do really appreciate all of the support. If you have any comments, questions, anything like that, just drop those in the comment section below. I do my best to read and respond to all of those. Also, if you are looking to trade, like I said, just be very, very careful if you are trading leverage, but I do have those affiliate links in the description below if you are looking to get signed up. So overall, that's what I've got for today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.